What's up, Marvel Snappers, and welcome to another Deck Tech video. Today we're looking at the Pool 3 card Destroyer, who has a massive 16 power, but an on reveal that says destroy your other cards. Now, if you're not building your deck accordingly, this can be a huge drawback, but we actually have quite a few ways to mitigate this with this deck in particular. Now, the whole deck, aside from this Destroyer, is comprised of Pool 1 and Pool 2 cards, so if you just own Destroyer, this is a fantastic deck for you to try out. It's currently also the Vibranium Mines featured location day, and it doesn't come up in many of the games, but is the primary reason we're comboing with this, because the Vibranium cannot be destroyed. And another path we have to victory is Spectrum, who says on reveal give your ongoing cards +2 power. Now this also synergizes with the Vibranium, since the can't be destroyed effect is an ongoing effect, but it actually gives the deck an alternative win condition by the rest of the cards in the deck being ongoing rather than focusing on the destroy mechanics. And what this lets you do is on the final turn, you can either play the massive 16 power Destroyer to a location, swinging the game, or if one big body won't do it because you're behind in multiple lanes, Spectrum can be a massive buff across the board and swing games for you, and it makes it hard for the opponent to play around because they don't know which of the two endgame options you're going to go with. Now, to combo with the Destroyer, we're running Armor, who protects all the cards at its location and is ongoing for the Spectrum buff. We also have Cosmo, who on reveal abilities won't happen at its location, so you're actually able to safely play Destroyer to Cosmo's location and keep your cards safe. Now, another thing about Cosmo and Armor is they conveniently counter a lot of what's popular right now, turning off the opponent's destroy effects or other pesky on-reveal abilities like discards or power buffs. One thing to be careful of is don't play your Spectrum to the Cosmo lane. That's a surefire way to end up losing the game. Another protection mechanic we have is Professor X, who locks down the location and cards can't be added or removed, etc., and that etc. includes destroyed. So Professor X and anything else in the location will be protected from that effect. It's also a great way to just completely lock up a location. Now, the 3 power sometimes isn't quite enough, but you're able to buff it up with Spectrum, since this is an ongoing ability. And we are running a few other ongoing cards like Mr. Fantastic and Claw that are able to push extra power into that location. This is a fantastic way to sneak out extra cubes from the opponent, because if it looks like you're losing the Professor X location, the opponent typically snaps, or you can snap, and the opponent will feel somewhat confident that they will be able to pull it out, but you will surprise end up winning the Professor X location. Rounding out the deck are just some more good ongoing cards, primarily being Ant-Man for a nice 1-cost 4 power that you can put on the board early. Colossus, who also can't be destroyed, so it's a great card to include with the Destroyer. Lizard, just because it's 5 stats for 2 energy. Sometimes you'll get this turned off, but at least it can get the Spectrum buff, and it'll still be a relevant power level. Captain America just provides pretty good stats to the lane and is fantastic in the Ant-Man location. We also have Warpath, who ongoing, if any of your locations are empty, gains +4 power. So the 9 power from this card is pretty strong, beating out even a Jessica Jones, and you can buff it further with the Spectrum. We can also protect it with Cosmo or Armor from the opponent's Shang-Chi's, and so you're going to want to keep in mind that you're really just playing for 2 locations and you don't want to spread your power out too much. Now, if you have other ongoing cards from Pool 3, like Mojo or Goose, those could also be fantastic inclusions, but the deck functions really well with just a core of Pool 1 and Pool 2 cards. With that, let's hop into some games. Okay, and Sakaar puts our Captain America into play. And they're Miles, so they got a little more value out of that, but Captain America will provide more than 5 power eventually. So we can get Ant-Man down. This could end up being a pretty good home for our Spectrum. Although the opponent snaps, they can probably take much better advantage of Camartage than we can. We don't have Spectrum in hand, and we have a clunky curve. Is Professor X potentially enough? Miles means movement. This might be a good spot to retreat, but I'm willing to play this out. I'm going to play the Colossus, not encourage them to cap this out by having the Lizard there. Oh, and they double Okoye. Okay, yeah, this is going to be an uphill battle. We probably should have retreated, but we'll eat the extra cube if we have to. Ooh, okay, actually. Things got really interesting. Let's play out Lizard, start putting up a good fight here. We'll actually be able to win Luke's bar with Professor X. And Spectrum will give our board a pretty big buff. We'll represent the 9 for now with Warpath. Make sure we're winning Sakaar, since we're very unlikely to win Camartage. Once we play Professor X, we'll lose the buff, but then Spectrum will give +8 to this side of the board. Oh, and we get Enchantress. Okay. Yeah, retreating was probably the right path. Okay, but we're still ahead of them here. No need to retreat just yet. We can get up to 14 in Camartage too, thanks to Spectrum and the Lizard. Rather than Professor X, we can actually go with the Claw. And then we have 2 bodies to get the Spectrum buff in Camartage. I'm feeling risky. Let's snap back on them before they see this Claw. Arrow, not gonna work, pulling us anywhere. And now we get to add 8-13 here, and we're already winning here? I think we're actually in a really good spot here. The Professor X would have successfully locked this down, but then we wouldn't have the extra body to get the Spectrum buff, and they're gonna have to spread quite a lot of power to pull this one off. Oh, and they retreat. Still a fantastic game. We wanted to retreat on turn 2, but we ended up pulling it out. Even through an Enchantress, no less. Let's go. Okay, first up is Kiln. Let's... Ant-Man is unlikely to get triggered unless we draw a 2-drop, which there are 2 of, and we'll be able to push some extra power into here with Mr. Fantastic. Plus Spectrum can buff the Ant-Man, so it's still worth playing here, even if we don't end up getting its full effect. Ooh, and we do get the armor. So we're actually going to be able to curve out really nicely here. And the opponent also armors, likely on a similar strategy. And we have the Spectrum, so let's go Mr. Fantastic. They Captain America. We're able to Warpath. Now, turn 5 is going to be a bit awkward. Okay, so they've given up on Kiln. So really now Destroyer is going to be our best draw. Let's snap, and let's get Colossus down. Because we're going to be able to put up 19 power here in Avengers Compound. That's going to be hard for them to beat. They get 2 cards. Is one of them a Cosmo? They have a Mr. Fantastic and a Lizard. So yeah, we should be pretty safe to just Destroyer here. They're going to be hard-pressed to beat us in Avengers Compound, and they can't play additional cards to kill them. Even a Spectrum buff won't get up over us. And the opponent retreats. Glad we snapped when we did, because we at least get 2 cubes out of that game. But that was super clean. Let's hop into another one. Alright, we have the Gamma Lab, but no 1-cost cards to go with it. Nor does the opponent, so there is a chance here. We can go Colossus into Captain America. Wondering if it's worth not fighting over the Gamma Lab. Because with our Spectrum, we can get a lot of value out of these in the other lanes, and if we end up just matching them on Hulks. I'd like to get some Vibranium going too, so let's gamble on giving up Gamma Lab. Let's just try and win these 2. So we can go Captain America into Warpath, into maybe Armor and a Vibranium. Ooh, they get some free value by being able to go with a Mysterio. Hopefully we draw some of this Vibranium. That would be fantastic. Alright, we have Lizard. We can go with the Warpath for now. They now know they only need to stack up in one of these. Okay, and they go with a Rescue. We do get a Vibranium. So we can make a pretty good board spread here for a Spectrum. And they're likely to cap out this location? Well, if we're not going the Destroyer route, can do it like this and plan on playing Spectrum to Hellfire Club. Let's see how this goes. Not confident enough to snap. Ooh, and they Shang-Chi, so the armor was perfectly timed. That was pretty lucky. Now they could be matching us at 17 here, but we get +6 to each of our locations with Spectrum. I fear if we snap, they retreat, so we're just going to play this out as is, but I think we end up pulling this out, dodging the Gamma Lab. And the Spectrum's really going to pay off here, buffing up 6 of our cards, 2 of which we were potentially going to turn into Hulks. And this Vibranium's going to end up being 6 power for just 1 energy, showing the power of this combo. They stick it out, so let's see. Enchantress is a little bit too late. We thankfully got our Spectrum buff beforehand. And even if that's the real Mysterio, we're ahead. Whew, close. 22 to 21. That was fantastic. Alright. We have Kamartage. Not gonna benefit us all with this hand. And the opponent goes with the Sunspot. We'll probably stay out of there for now. 7th turn is interesting. Ooh, yeah, if we can find a way to protect some of our cards. Let's stay out of here for now. Maybe we draw into Cosmo. And the opponent, Angela's. And we get Vibranium Mines. But I really want to shut this down sooner than later. We don't have Spectrum, so I'd rather our opponent not be getting value out of this. And they tried to discard something with Swordmaster, so hopefully that put a big wrench in their plans. Alright, and we can Warpath Limbo. Destroyer can probably win Camartage for us, and we'll just plan on getting a bunch more power here. Okay, ooh, and the opponent Gambits. Oh, and it hits the Cosmo. Dirty. It could have targeted our armor, and it wouldn't have worked. But now they don't have a lot of power going on here. So let's claw. Let's start spreading our power here. Okay, they Lady Sif, discarding an Apocalypse. Twice because of Camartage. Dang. I'm surprised they didn't snap off the Gambit hit. Because now Morbius is up to 6. Okay, how do we pull this off? Do they play the Apocalypse here this turn? Or do they get greedy and try and buff it some more? Because we could just take the win with Professor X here. On Vibranium Mines, at least. The 1632 might be enough. They haven't snapped. And I'm nervous, so I'm not snapping, but let's see if this line of play ends up working out for us. Oh, did they go with the Apocalypse? No, they went with a Chavez. Okay, so now we just need Spectrum. No. So the Apocalypse is 16. Mr. Fantastic can only get 2 more into here. Yeah, this is going to be a retreat from us. Alright, the first location is Asgard, which we're definitely going to want to try and win. Lizard might end up not being so hot into there, but we can't play armor anymore, so we'll end up losing the power on Lizard, but the 5 power for now should help us win this location. We have Ant-Man now, too. And +1 energy. Let's get Cosmo Ant-Man down. Prevent any future on-reveal effects. Ooh, like we shut down the Jessica Jones. That's actually perfect for us. We have the Professor X, but we'll armor in case we end up drawing the Destroyer. And then this will still be a fantastic lane for Spectrum. And yeah, they've given up now that we're going to draw the 2 cards. Alright, and they Storm. We do have Destroyer. And Claw. We have a 50% chance to draw Spectrum next turn. I don't think the 6 into Flooding is going to be enough if they intend to play a 5-cost card there. So let's get Warpath into Dark Dimension and hope to draw. Yeah, we wouldn't have come up over Black Panther. Spectrum, Spectrum, Spectrum. No, okay. They need 9 to get up over us. They can't Artem Zola anymore. Taskmaster will only be 8. I think we're in a pretty good position here. We can even Mr. Fantastic just to push up Asgard a little bit more. And this should be quite a lot of power for them only having 1 card to play. Yeah, and the opponent just retreats. The Cosmo hitting the Jessica Jones was huge. I hope you enjoyed the games and got to see the power of Destroyer. This can be a very difficult deck to play around because you also have the alternate endgame of Spectrum, and it gives you quite a lot of options. Having Cosmo and Armor just to conveniently shut down the opponent's strategy sometimes while playing into our own is just gravy, so this deck is a fantastic one to use on your ladder climb. If you have any questions or feedback for me, make sure to leave those in the comment sections below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.